A reading from my book, Silk Pajamas and Tombstone Eyes, by Tom Rock. I return to the alley in a couple of days and go to her house to smoke my Can Tho. When I do not buy a girl, I can tell she is getting irritated. It dawns on me that I am taking up her time and space and not paying anything for it. So I buy one of her girls, and that pleases her. I am learning this is a business and this woman runs it like one. In my brief time here, I have noticed that she has two small children, a beautiful little girl of 7 years named Mihan, and her brother Joe, 9 years old. It does not take long at all before these two are pulling at my heartstrings. I have been thinking about moving off base and getting a room downtown for myself. I have heard of other GIs that have rented rooms. The thought appeals to me. With this in mind, I am thinking to myself, would this place work for me? At that moment, little Mihan walks by me in the living room and gives me a smile that renders me helpless. I stand up and go to the back of the house. Finding Mama-san in the kitchen, I confront her about renting a room, or as it turns out, more of a bed in her house, the cost of $30 a month. I move into my new hangout and find myself interacting with the family, playing with Joe and Mihan. Mama-san is named Muoi, which is the number 10. It seems they have a number in their name and tend to go by that, at least some do. It is apparent that she has a boyfriend, and his name is Wa, who I find out later is one serious badass dude that you do not want to mess with. To make my point, I am told by the kids and neighbors that one day shortly before I arrived, Wa was in the back of the house when a thug, commonly called a cowboy, came onto the front porch and started harassing Muoi, trying to extort money from her. Wa, hearing this, stepped out onto the porch and pulled out a .38 pistol, put it to his head and pulled the trigger, and just casually walked away. The body laid there until the police arrived. The questions were asked and all the neighbors told the police. Him number 10, Wa number 1. Shoot him dead. With that, they picked up the body and left. That was the end of it. Trial, jury, and judgment. Done. To reinforce my point, Wa actually threatened the life of a Vietnamese policeman, and I did get to witness part of it. A local policeman, who obviously is not too bright, tried to pull some similar move with Muoi, given he knew she was selling girls. He wanted a cut. When Wa found out, he confronted the policeman in broad daylight, in the middle of the street in front of everyone. He puts the .38 under his chin and tells him, basically, that if he ever even looks at Muoi or her house, he will kill him. About a week later, I am sitting on the porch with Muoi when we see the same policeman walking down the alley. Muoi starts taunting him, daring him to look at her, which he does not. She laughs and tells me, him buku scared. Him look me wa fini him dead. Now for the twists and turns of life. I am looking forward to coming home after work every day. I just stepped into the door when I hear an awful noise coming from the kitchen. As I enter the kitchen, or should I say what is left of it, I find Wa and Muoi in a knockdown, drag-out fight. Muoi has just caught Wa cheating on her with another woman, and all hell has broke loose. Throwing things, spitting, slapping. Wow, this woman is one upset lady. They both appear exhausted, and Muoi finally gets him to leave. She has thrown him out. Now she is single and unattached. I cannot help but wonder what little piece of heaven I can savor making love to this woman. I tend to be drawn to life on the edge, no exception here. A couple of days later, after the dust has settled, I ask Muoi to sit down at the table. I want to talk with her. I pull out $200 military pay certificates and place it in front of her. I can tell I do have her attention, as this is a lot of money by their standards. She says to me, "Tom, what you do?" I then make direct eye contact and speak to her. "I want to be your new boyfriend. For this much money every month, you will cook for me, do my laundry, sleep with me, and for all practical purposes I will become the Papasan Thom of this house." She sits there with a straight face, showing real attention to my every word. She looks at the money, back at me, looking into my eyes, holding her stare without a blink. Then she speaks. "Can do. From this moment on, I am beginning to experience one of the most precious journeys of my life. What is starting out as a business deal turns into a genuine love for this woman and her children. Right from the start, my new relationship comes with some added suspense. Muoi is pregnant with Wa's baby. I don't mind telling you that there is a part of me that is saying, "You are out of your fucking mind messing with this woman who is carrying the baby of one badass dude who seriously scares me to death. I definitely do not want to be on his bad side. So where am I? In bed with his woman. Insane. But I love it out on the edge." A short time has passed since Muoi and I have become partners, during which I worry to some degree. What is Wa thinking about all this? Needless to say, it leaves me a little unsettled, not knowing where he is at and what he is thinking. As this very thought is going through my head, Wa just came through the front door with a buddy. He has shown up to give Muoi money for the delivery of his baby, which is $50. We all find ourselves in the living room and the words start flying. I do not speak Vietnamese, but I can tell you the language is obvious. Wa is trying to give her the money, but Muoi takes it, throws it on the floor and spits on it. She just left the living room and comes back with a hammer and starts hitting him, followed by her passing out on the floor. I am standing in the middle of this, wanting Wa to leave, but too damn scared to really be insistent. I think you can understand why. Wa, thank God, uses some good judgment and leaves. Later the next day, being rather concerned, no, freaked out is more like it, I ask one of my neighbors, who knows him well, "How does Wa perceive me?" I am told he is very grateful that I am paying for his child to be born, and he can see that I am a good GI, kind to Muoi. Oh Lord, what a relief. As our relationship is starting out with somewhat of a business approach, it is not long at all before I start really feeling for this woman. She is so aware, efficient and effective, above all else a survivor. I watch Muoi how she interacts with the GIs, whether they are buying a girl or a bag of Can Tho. She always impresses me. She is a very good madam in that she takes good care of her girls and would never subject them to a situation that would be rude or abusive. The way she raises her children, responds to me, and in general, just the kind of woman she is, you can say. To know Muoi is to love Muoi, and love her I do. Army fatigues, drugs, and military intelligence by day. By night I am AWOL, in silk pajamas, and answering to Papasan Thom. Muoi, a woman twice my age, a madam and marijuana dealer with cunning survival instincts, shares with me the double life journey I live in Can Tho, Vietnam, 1968 to 1970. The two worlds are my life.